Deuteronomy 28, verse 16 and 17, and then verse 23. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, cursed shalt thou be in the country. Cursed shalt thou be thy basket, and cursed shall thou be thy kneading bowl. Basket being what you put up, save, your bank, your money. And cursed shall be your work, is the kneading bowl for the work you do. 23, and the skies shall be of copper, and on the ground below your feet shall be of iron. Some of it says brass, because of the brass age, the bronze age. And then all of a sudden we have a big flip around during the Iron Age. The State of Black America report. I sit down and I match all the time scriptures to what has been unfolding in prophecy. I like to try to point out who the people are and why it is important that everybody knows who the people are, the burden, the definition and etymology of actually carrying the cross, which is the burden, so they could have an understanding of what it means to be one with the one true God and the characteristics of God. Even these people. So whether if you're the Israelite nation or a Gentile, everybody needs to come together as a grafted tree when it comes to the characteristics of the one true God. So when I speak about the curses that they shall be under, the oppression, a lot of people ignorantly like to think, oh man, we ain't in slavery, we free, you know what I'm saying, I got me a job, a house, and all this other stuff. No, you still scrutinized. You still getting charged more than another person would if you was to get a ticket or was to get arrested. I seen two young boys, never stole nothing a day in their life, get caught stealing. They had the same charge as a white guy, and he was 70-something years old. I don't want to get into all what he did, but he was stealing big time. They was stealing like little time, and he was stealing since he was 16. The two went to prison, and guess what? The other one just got a slap on the wrist. That's how real it is. We see even the example with the young boy who committed that rape, and he only got 6 months. It's always been like this. This report shows you the oppression, and the scriptures show you the oppression. It shows you why we lost what we lost. And if you are Caucasian or a Gentile or anybody else, and you don't know anything about the past before the Iron Age, if you don't know anything about how in the hell one person, Caucasian, fathered half of Europe, then you need to start re-educating yourself on your history. I try to point all this out, but even the scriptures say that everybody who screams, Lord, 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 will not get accepted into heaven, because they think that just by grace, they will be saved. And it doesn't work like that. 1619, we got brought over here and got put into slavery. The bondsmen, the Wall Street, everything else happened. Why in the heck you think they found that slave ship over there that was Constantine's with the Hebrew head in it as the lamb? And it was over there by Israel, because that's where the people were. You see, the Middle Easterns is over there, didn't come over there until 200 years after the death of Christ. And during that time, you had Babylon, you had the burning of Jerusalem, you had the knocking down of the temple, you had everybody scattering, you had the Grecians and the Romans plummeting everything, and the whole 9 yards. We need to wake up and see what's going on. Get it to right, no matter who you are, so you can walk in the path of righteousness, so you can be saved. The scriptures say, just because they say, Lord, 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 do miracles, heal, and all that stuff in my name, that means that they are with us and not against us. But if they offer you a glass of water, that means that they will get their reward also. Money, materialistic things always bring on a certain characteristic and a certain trait. How many people you know was broke yesterday, got money today, and all of a sudden they don't know you? We hear that all the time. I don't care what color you are. Because remember, this is a well-rounded thing, not an angle. Either you jump on the bandwagon or you don't. People being fooled. Poor little lady was yelling and screaming at me, and then the only thing she could say is, "What do you guys have now? What do you, Dad, you don't read the scriptures?" I mean, do I have to show you? I've got videos of the artwork. I don't want to watch every. That means you don't want to know about the Lord and the history of these people that worshipped the one true God. The poverty is lower than it's ever been before. The joblessness, the homelessness, the transgressions of sin, and the oppression is worse than ever. But see, the sorcery on the outside with Obama and everything else so that you think that is good, and it's not. Because they can fix the numbers. And they can fool you up and let everything shine. You should notice on the news, when you watch the news, they quicker to show you the death of a dog, a cat, and everything else before they would what's going on in the hood and or somebody else that is a minority. That's a given right there. Nobody sees it. And I know there's people out there that call the news stations and the radio stations and try to say this is that and the third, and it never ever comes to light. But let Becky with the good hair get her toe run over. Guess what? That's breaking news. And this ain't a segregation separation thing, because when you talk about the truth, that's when they want to call you a racist. But is it the actions and the characteristics racist? Is it how you overlook the things that happen when it comes to a certain culture and race? But as soon as the same thing happens to Becky over here, guess what? You jumping on it and taking care of it, handling it, and making sure that the wrongdoing is handled. So I would like to know, where in the hell is the difference? America, by other countries, if you ever go to another country, will tell you that it was built on hatred and separation and racism. And it still exists today. It's just getting worse. The charts, and I have left you a link below, tell you to your face that it's worse than it was back in the days. 40, 50 years ago. And it shall be as in the days of Noah. And thy shall be oppressed all the day long. I shall bring thy into ships into another land of Egypt, where they shall never have to make that journey anymore. Humble yourself. Pray to the one true God through Yeshua. If you are a Gentile, change your ways, change your characteristics, bring them over, and be as righteous as of God. And whatever you got going on that you're keeping these people oppressed, you need to stop it, cut it out, fix it really quick. Because the mark of the beast is the characteristics, is the set of mind, is the way you move, and what you're going to have to accept in order to be either of God or be of Satan. So the choice is up to yours. But everybody needs to peep this out. I don't care what color you are, because nobody seems to get what I'm saying, and then nobody wants to hear what I'm saying, because anything that I do have to say, all right, is either here nor there. Because the material things is written in the Bible. The Gentiles are used to material things and running after this and the third, because in their set of mind is just so sort of an animalistic way that if you have something, it means that you are more glorified, you are more powerful, you are more well esteemed. And it technically doesn't. There's too many people out here that got all the money in the world, and when you sit down and talk to them, they're about dumbing in the bag of rocks. It's because they got used to everybody else below them doing the work. Understand, it's the characteristics and a trait. We see Kanye West. Boy, he was rapping and singing about God in the whole 9 yards when he first got his albums. He was praying to God and going to church every day when he almost lost his life and his jaw almost fell off. He sold out. He even told you on the thing he did. See, in order to be a part of something, you have to sit down and have transgressions of sins and then go against the righteousness and the love of God. The oppression of these people are spoken of in the Old and the New Testament. And I'm asking everybody to get it right and see. I don't sit up here and I talk about it, and then all of a sudden the chart comes out on RT News with the link that I left below. It's all right there. And if you go back and you scroll through my videos all the way to the first 400 and whatever video and go all the way back, you'll start seeing that. He was talking about all the way back then. But still nobody wants to see it. Because the sorcery, the witchery, and Satan's manipulation of separation and segregation has got you hypnotized all over a socialistic characteristic. So, with that being said, check out the link.